Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. A very good evening and welcome to tonight's episode of Living the Life. It's the last one of the week.
Yes.
And I have some really sad news for you.
Oh, go on.
There's no chef tonight.
No! No, that's the only reason why I'm here. I came for food.
I love it.
No, I didn't. I came to be with you, Dave.
But anyway, later on in the show, we will be talking to a chef and restaurant owner, Omar Shah, who will be discussing how the pandemic has affected the restaurant industry and also his restaurant's in a very unique theme. So we're going to talk about that, inshallah.
It's interesting how we gave up the in-house chef, but we're still going to be talking about
I
food.
thought at least he might be showing us how to cook something up there. But it's actually about the...
Just tempt us.
But his industry, his thematic restaurants are very interesting. We'll talk about them later on, inshallah.
Looking forward to that. We're also going to be travelling to South Africa to learn about the hospitality robots.
What's it coming to?
I know, hospitality robots. But in a COVID world, if you were travelling, that's what you want. I wouldn't want to be greeted by...
I wouldn't mind getting one of them at home. So when the missus says to me, you don't do anything, I said, oi,
get the robot in there. I like that. I like that. I could do with one of those. Never again with the missus complain.
At the moment, I've just got one of those Mr. T-shirts, and it just says, weekend and chill, Mr. Lazy. When she says, you're not doing anything, I just say... Right, our first guest tonight is Sania Alam and Emma Alam. Emma is the first Pakistani to win the World Memory Championship for 2020.
Wow.
She was trained by Sania, who is one of the only 4 senior licensed instructors of super learning in the world.
Wow.
Emma also broke multiple records during the 29th championship, in which 300 competitors participated from 16 countries.
Amazing.
Assalamu alaikum. Hey, what's your names again?
Walaikum assalam.
Just remind us.
My name is Sania Alam.
Right, I am just teasing you because, you know, what you've achieved, I was reading it today, is actually quite phenomenal. I mean, mashallah, absolutely brilliant. Just remind people where you are at the moment so we can get an idea of the time difference.
Okay, so we're in Karachi, Pakistan right now, and it is 12 a.m. here.
12 a.m. is, you know, what they call party time in Karachi.
It's party time. They're still awake.
It's just time to go and get something to eat at that time.
It's the time where the temperature's nice and pleasant and you can enjoy the day, right?
They're sitting at home. They say, let's khana khane chale. Let's go and get something to eat at 12 o'clock at night. Listen, first of all, congratulations, because it's an absolutely phenomenal achievement. So I think, maybe Emma, let me go to you first, because you're obviously one of the licensed instructors. I'm sorry, Sania, you're one of the licensed instructors. I mean, how did you get into all this? Because I've never heard of that before.
Yeah.
And that's maybe why you're one of the only 4 in the world. How did you get into this particular... is it a sport? Is it a challenge? What do you call this? What is this?
Okay, so basically we have an institute called Institute of Human Memory Development International.
Okay.
And what we're offering through this institute is called super learning systems or super learning courses. And super learning basically means how you can read, learn, memorize, and manage large amount of information in a short amount of time. And super learning is an innate ability that's available within everybody, but there aren't very many, education system or as such learning institutes that train how to utilize your brain's potential. And so that's what our institute is doing through super learning courses.
So it's almost like this. So this can apply to anything, right? It's not just for competitions, but if I was studying for an exam and I was to, apply the super learning technique, I could ace my exams, right? Exactly.
So the courses are particularly for the students to enhance their academic life and for professionals to enhance their professional careers. But then, so if you want to carry this forward and further pursue the super learning, you would compete in competitions if you have the time and you want to represent your country and your skills on such a grand platform. So the 3 top super learning courses, which I would say are mind mapping, speed reading, and memory skills. So these are 3 pillars of learning that we call for students and professionals.
Well look, stay with us. We're just going to watch a video of you guys in action. I don't know if you can't probably see this, but our viewers can see this. So let's just have a look at this. And this is speed learning. That's it. Why are you not standing up?
I'll say it's very
Pakistan
that was
Come on.
indeed very patriotic. So
Look,
very patriotic.
mashallah. Look, Sania Alam and Emma, absolutely fantastic. I mean, that's just something else. I've not seen anything like this before. So look, let's go on to Emma. Look, congratulations. I mean, both of you, congratulations, because you both won quite a lot there. And Emma, what made you get into this as well?
So 2 years ago, I took training from the Institute of Human Memory Development, which is now known as Futuristic Learning. And I took the training to improve my studies because I was a struggling student and I just wanted to...
What do you have to do? I mean, what's the process?
Yeah. So there are 10 disciplines in this competition, which there are 10 different ways they have to test your memory. So that means having to memorize the exact order of thousands of binary digits, hundreds of words, names and faces, abstract images. And so you get like 15 minutes to memorize, and then you get like a set amount of time for recalling the information in exact order.
Hold on, 15 minutes to memorize. So what did you do?
For World Record in names and faces. Yes, so you get random names and faces that you've never seen before with names from all around the world, and you get 15 minutes to memorize them. And I was able to memorize 218 names, which was named.
Mashallah.
Wow. So what's my name?
I know, I was just going to ask, what's our names? Quickly.
What's our names?
See,
what is our names?
Oh, I was told one name, that was Naeem.
Okay,
that's the important name.
But which one is that? Which one is that? So, I mean, look, and 300 people from all around the world came to this competition?
Yes, this competition has been happening for 29 years. And it was a proud moment because it's the first time that Pakistan took the whole title.
So first time Pakistan. No, tell me, because again, I'm just intrigued by this memorizing in 15 minutes, right? So when you see all these faces, is there like some kind of? What's
your
pattern?
process?
What's your technique?
What's the process? What's the pattern?
So there are definitely techniques that we learn, because if we think about it, when we're kids, our parents simply tell us, go to school and study. Yeah. And then go to school, and then our teachers tell us, go home and do your homework. But in the meantime, nobody tells us how we're supposed to study, how we're supposed to learn, how we're supposed to memorize information. So that's what this institute teaches, how to learn and how to use your brain at its maximum potential.
So give us an example. So when you're looking at these faces, is there a certain pattern that you follow to say, okay, look, well, this face has got a moustache, his name begins with an A, or is there some kind of musical theme that you run through? I mean, I don't know, I'm trying to think, what would be the process of trying to memorize all of this?
So can I just mention here that names and faces is just one of the disciplines. Yeah. And there are 10 different, altogether 10 different disciplines. And when we're talking about names and faces, the way that memory works is that there are 3 steps to memorizing anything. The 3 steps are, the first is record, second is retain, and third is recall. So often people mistake that, if they're unable to recall anything, that their memory is terrible and they're, declining, their memory is declining. But the truth of the matter is that if you're not storing information, recording information the right way through right techniques, and you're using right techniques to retain it in your brain until you need that information. So for example, for an exam, so you would store that information for enough amount of time or period of time so that you can recall that information at your exam, during your exam. So these 3 steps have to be followed. And if you're talking about names, then, for example, information that is provided during these competitions or academic studies, and at some point becomes, meaningless for the brain. So using techniques, you have to make information meaningful for the brain, so it becomes easily memorizable. And the way you would memorize names would be through power of association, because the human brain likes to associate every bit of information to every other bit of information.
Look, my technique in exams is a bit on the hand, a bit on a ruler, a bit on a piece of paper, a bit on the back of the shoe.
I had the best technique. I used to peep over. I used to look over the shoulder.
And everybody's used to, rote learning. And at our institute, we're absolutely, against rote learning, because if you use the correct methods of learning, which no education system is teaching, then you don't need rote learning. And that's exactly our aim. We have this supreme asset, which is the human brain, yet we are only using a fraction of it. And we have to use, rote learning and such things.
We've got to agree with you, because I think the human brain, mashallah, is so comprehensive, and we only use a percentage of it. Sania, what was it like, obviously, on the back of the COVID and pandemic, for Emma and others to put all their theory into practice? How difficult was that?
Well, so because of COVID, the good thing was, the good outcome on our end at least, was that they had a lot of time. So Emma and the team, the rest of the team were preparing for 2 years, and they've competed in 11 competitions already altogether in the 2 years that they've been training. And this was the biggest achievement. So throughout COVID, they were training 6 to 8 hours every day.
Wow.
And the reason why they needed to commit this much amount of time for their training was because you have to keep in mind that we are competing against world's top memory athletes, who can record information within seconds, and not just teeny bits of information, but we're talking about large amount of information. So that's why they had to commit to that. But does that mean that you need 6 to 8 hours to improve your memory for 2 years? No. We can improve your memory in 30 hours.
Amazing. So Emma, when you were studying, I say studying, you're memorizing, you remember all these things. Do you find sometimes or has it helped you with your academia in terms of the studies that you're doing? And do you sometimes find maybe there's so much overload of information you confuse one with the other? Does that happen to you at all?
So these courses, as I said, I initially took them because I wanted to improve my academic life. And it has certainly improved it, because I used to not be really interested in studies, because I used to feel like there's so much information. I don't know how to deal with this information. And so I was declining. But ever since, I've been getting straight A's. And it's so easy. And the reason I'm doing this is because I want to inspire youngsters like myself, who go through this struggle for years and years to simply finish their basic studies. When if we know how to use our brain, we do not need that much amount of time, and it's very easily accomplishable.
And we were talking about, there was, I think you said there was various different techniques. I think so there were 10 techniques. Hopefully my memory remembers 10, right? I've got that bit right. So is there a specific technique? I know, see, 10, I remember that. Memory works. It's not going all great. So Emma, is there a specific technique which you found, this works better for me? Or do you find different techniques for different things that you're trying to study work out better?
So all of these techniques work for studies overall. Like she said, there's mind mapping. There's a separate competition for mind mapping. There's speed reading. There's memory. And so that combination of trainings really, allows you to use your brain at its fullest.
Amazing.
Fantastic.
It's almost like a holistic approach, really, isn't
Sania,
it?
where are the other 3 teachers, so to speak? Where are the other 3? There's only 4 of you in the world. Where are the other 3?
In London.
Really? Where?
You are, yes.
Wow.
We need to speak to these people.
Where they are. I mean, listen, you are, from what I can tell, Emma, you're the first Pakistani to ever win the World Memory Championship.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, you tell us how you feel, but your parents must be really proud.
Yes, absolutely. I've had so many people from around the world appreciate and recognize this, that Pakistan won for the first time.
And I see you've got some medals around your neck. Just run through them. What are those medals?
In that video, you had all these on your arm as well. There's like 15, 20 different medals.
Yes, this is only less than half of what I have achieved.
And what are they for? Are they for any specific category?
Yes, so these are for mind mapping competition. Then there's for memory. But these ones are for mind mapping.
Wow. See, we didn't even see those.
Wow.
We didn't even see the rest of them. She just won 9 in this competition, in the World Memory Championship. She won 3 trophies, 9 medals, broke 3 world records, and became the champion.
Let me ask you a question then. So if there's an argument about something that happened yesterday or whatever, do they always say, oh, well, Emma knows already, so there's no point in arguing with her? Would that be the case, that your memory is so good, mashallah?
That question.
Yeah, yes, because the brain has the capability to remember everything. So yeah.
But there's one, because being the world memory champion and being a memory athlete, so a lot of times she gets asked that you must remember everything, or you must remember what you had like 2 years from now. That's actually, it could be true, and it doesn't have to be true. It's about using the tools to memorize something. Or if you choose to memorize something, you can use the tools. If you don't, so it's not like you have photographic memory.
Yeah.
So photographic memory is you look at something, you read something, you remember it forever.
Yeah.
I mean, your trainees, Sania, have won 36 medals and 10 trophies within a year.
Yes, that has increased.
Just phenomenal.
I mean, do you find the younger the person is? Because I find I struggle now. If I'm trying to study,
I had a conversation with my wife yesterday, and I asked her a question at the end of it. She said, I just told you 2 minutes ago, and I couldn't even remember
you forget. I find I forget as well. So is it with age? Do you find the younger you are, it's easier to retain? The older, as you get to Naeem's age, we struggle a bit here.
Actually, later science is beginning to, prove the fact that age has nothing to do with memory. It's like we use fitness training programs to, become fit for the body, and we take care of the body, but we don't do anything to keep our brain fit. So if you don't do anything, obviously you're going to lose those abilities that you had when you were younger. But if you keep your mind and brain sharp through tools and techniques and training programs, then you can have the same quality of memory that you had when you were young. In fact, competing with Emma in senior category was Dominic O'Brien, who was previously the 8 times world memory champion. He's now 62 plus, and he is also competing to prove to the world that memory has nothing to do with age if you use, techniques to keep your memory sharp.
First of all, absolutely massive congratulations. Yeah. We're all really proud of you here in Islam Channel. I'm really proud of you because you're from Pakistan, right?
Absolutely.
It's made you proud to be Pakistani today. Absolutely brilliant. And just, I think, the final question from both of you, what's your plans for the future?
So my plan for the future is to train and produce more champions. And so currently in Pakistan team, we have the world memory champion, we have the UK speed reading champion, we have the French mind mapping champion. So I want to take these super learning courses and bring it to the world so that every student, every professional, every human being is utilizing their brain's potential to the maximum.
Inshallah. And what about yourself, Emma? What's your plans for the future?
So I plan on competing further, representing my country's name and making it go higher, and inspiring more people to know how to use their brain, because I had an average memory. I simply trained my memory, and that's what everyone can do, and it will enhance their every aspect of life.
And is there something you want to become as you get older? Is there a particular career you're looking at?
Memory championship and memory sports overall.
Fantastic. Well, brilliant.
She's going to be a world-renowned memory champion.
Massive congratulations. We'll never forget you, as they say.
Absolutely.
Assalamu alaikum, and a very good night to you, because I know it's a bit late over there, but thank you for staying up for us.
Thank you for having us.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.